Today we're checking out Jared Carthalion and Oathbreaker and seeing what kind of signature spells might be best for him. This is my 100th video in the series, which is crazy. And I wanted something kind of special for video 100, so I picked our only 5-color Planeswalker. So Jared costs white, blue, black, red, green, and starts at 5 loyalty. +1, create a 3/3 Kavu creature token with trample that's all colors. -3, choose up to 2 target creatures. For each of them, put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of colors it is. -6, return target multicolored card from your graveyard to your hand. If that card was all colors, draw a card and create 2 treasure tokens. Jared Carthalion can be your commander. That means we could build a commander deck with it and just pull 40 cards from it whenever we wanted to play Oathbreaker. That's pretty neat. As far as power level goes, he doesn't seem super powered or anything. His power comes from being 5-color. You can put anything you want into this deck. It also gives us access to the 5-color instant and sorcery spells that we could pick as the signature spell. Cards like Coalition Victory, which cost 3 mana +1 of each color. You win the game if you control a land of each basic land type and a creature of each color. With the way this is worded, you don't need 5 creatures, 1 of each color, to make this work. You just need 1 creature that is all colors. And remember, Jared makes a Kavu that is all colors. And for the land requirement, you don't need 5 basic lands, 1 of each land type. You just need a land of each basic land type. That means dual lands count. So do tri-lands. And when you add fetch lands into the mix, you should be able to get what you need very easily by the time you cast this card. I want to add that Coalition Victory is banned in Commander, so this is really the only viable place that we could play this card. I don't think you're going to be winning any legacy tournaments with Coalition Victory. Now, I looked at over 100 deck lists for Jared Carthalion while researching for this video, and although there was a huge variety of signature spell choices, this one came out on top as most popular. Next is Aidian Malstrom for 1 of each color. Destroy each creature that isn't all colors. There's 32 creatures in Magic's history that are all colors, so you've got some to choose from there. Plus Jared's Kavus are all colors. It does seem a little bit restrictive for deck building purposes, and by a little I mean like a lot, but it's a one-sided board wipe, and that's sweet. Begin the Invasion costs X Wooburg. Search your library for up to X battle cards with different names, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. I'm not really sold on the battle card type yet. However, this would make a one-of-a-kind, really neat deck. Last Stand costs Wooburg and says target opponent loses 2 life for each swamp you control. Last Stand deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token for each forest you control. You gain 2 life for each plains you control. Draw a card for each island you control, then discard that many cards. And like Coalition Victory, this works with dual lands and tri-lands, and is boosted further by fetch lands. So if you've got stacks and stacks of dual lands and fetch lands, and you just don't know what to do with that crap, well, here's your answer. Build a mediocre Jared Carthalion Last Stand deck. There you go. Unite the Coalition as an instant for 2 Wooburg. Choose 5. You may choose the same mode more than once. Target permanent phases out. Target player draws a card. Exile target player's graveyard. Unite the Coalition deals 2 damage to any target. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's not overpowered and it's not synergistic, but it is very versatile. Conflux for 3 Wooburg. Search your library for a white card, blue card, a black card, a red card, and a green card. Put them in your hand. Meeting of the 5 costs 3 in Wooburg. Exile the top 10 cards of your library. You may cast spells with exactly 3 colors from among them this turn. Add white, white, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, green, green. Spend this mana only to cast spells with exactly 3 colors. That's all the 5-color options, but we have more options. We haven't even talked about the most popular Jared Carthalion build yet. Can you guess what it is? It's Maze's End. There are a lot of Jared Carthalion Maze's End decks. If you're not familiar with the card, it says pay 3, tap, return Maze's End to its owner's hand. Search your library for a gate card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. If you control 10 or more gates with different names, you win the game. There are currently 22 gates in Magic, which is enough to build a gate deck, finally, at least a 60-card gate deck. And that's one of the pluses that I like about Oathbreaker as compared to Commander. With a 100-card deck, ideally you would want more gates, and we don't have them. Oathbreaker allows this niche strategy to shine. For signature spells, we have 3 options that search up gates. Open the Gate searches 1 and puts it into your hand. Circuitous Route and Explore the Underdark both search up 2 and put them onto the battlefield. And these next few can search up any land and put it onto the battlefield, and that's important because Maze's End is not actually a gate. So we've got Hour of Promise, which searches up 2 lands and puts them onto the battlefield tapped. Purr's Whim for 4. For each player, choose friend or foe. Each friend searches their library for a land card, puts it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffles their library. Each foe sacrifices an artifact or enchantment they control. Titania's Command for 6. Choose 2. Exile target player's graveyard. You gain 1 life for each card exiled this way. Search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Create 2 2/2 green bear creature tokens. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. And Tempt with Discovery. Tempting offer. Search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. Each opponent may search their library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. For each opponent who searches their library this way, search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield. So this can get up to 4 lands. You can get 4 gates with this, but you won't. You won't if your opponents are smart. Now, I love this card. This is honestly one of my favorite Magic cards. It's just a pet card for me. But the funny thing about it is the more a deck could benefit from using it, the less benefit it's actually gonna get. So it's probably not a great option as signature spell in this deck. Next, we've got the signature spells that focus on multicolor synergies. As a contender for the most used signature spell, Bring to Light has Converge. Search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery with mana value less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast this spell. Exile that card, then shuffle. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So your signature spell is kind of just any card in your deck that you need in the moment. There's a couple other cards with Converge that would be okay too, but this one really is the best. Depopulate. Each player who controls a multicolored creature draws a card, then destroy all creatures. And Vivid Revival. Return up to 3 target multicolored cards from your graveyard to your hand. The demand side of Supply and Demand says search your library for a multicolored card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And Supply just makes some tokens if you need to. Plain-Wide Celebration is notable because it makes 2/2s that are all colors, and Proliferate is a nice bonus to have in a signature spell too. It's always good to have the option of proliferating up our Planeswalker's loyalty counters. Because Jared is 5 colors, he's also one of the best options for a tribal build. In that case, Jared is really just there for the colors. He doesn't really synergize with that kind of stuff, unless you're doing Kavu Tribal. A few people are doing Sliver Tribal, and Hive Stirrings is your best option. Then put 2 1/1 colorless Sliver creature tokens onto the battlefield. Otherwise, we've just got some generically good options for that. Kindred Dominance and Crippling Fear are both kind of one-sided board wipes. Raise the Palisade is a one-sided bounce. And Kindred Summons and Kindred Charge both get creatures out on the battlefield of that type. As far as I can tell, I'm the only YouTuber making consistent Oathbreaker content. So hit that like button if you appreciate it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.